My journey starts in Ghana. It is the home of the Farah headquarters after all. And as I cross the borders of the different African countries, I thought it would be good to hear a little of that nation's local music while I set the scene.
So there are two issues there, isn't it? It must be deliberate. It is also targeted at policymakers either to change policy or to...
Now, here in Kumasi, I've come to see the Crop Research Institute, but by coincidence, they're holding a workshop today. And part of the Scarda model is to work with service providers who will in turn work with organisations. In this case, the workshop is being run by one of those providers. And here we're talking about mentoring. There are two elements to mentoring. The mentoring of individuals, perhaps students, but in this case, we're talking about the mentoring of an organisation. Scarda's work also included a full institutional analysis of the organisation. This highlighted the fact that the 18 existing divisions were simply too many to make it competitive and able to generate the target of raising 30% of the budget it currently receives from the government. The mentoring programme also helped to clearly define the roles of departmental heads.
Through the institutional analysis, we were able to put some of the divisions together. And as I speak to you now, through the analysis and the training we've been having, it took us quite some time before people, accepted the change. But now I am happy to announce that we now have 10 divisions. And this, would make us more effective and efficient in doing, business here.
We scan them. This is for one person.
In the library of the Crops Research Institute, Laurencia Agbenyeke is a prime example of how Scarda has built a platform for improved support for research. When they assessed the organisation, there was no librarian, and they also pinpointed a shortfall in information delivery. So they funded Laurencia on a university librarianship course.
Information is the lifeline of the research institute like this. And somehow it will help the institute very well because our information system is disorganized somehow before Scarda came in. So with this experience, I'm going to help to organize all the information, especially the information generated by the researchers in the institute.
So let's now go out in the fields where staff like Deputy Director Stella Enin, the Scarda Change Champion at the Institute, is proudly inspecting one of her own crops. She says there are clear examples of where change management and capacity building has helped to tackle a fundamental problem of attrition at the organisation.
Scarda came in to help us with the institutional analysis where the gaps were found, the gaps in our vision, and then in our attainment of our vision was found. And so one of the main gaps was this attrition and capacity building. And so through Scarda, we've been able to initiate the process of training some of our staff to fill in the major areas where we need staff. And one of the areas is the breeding program, especially in the maize program. We've had our maize staff doing so well that internationally they've been recognized and they've left the institute.
And in an adjacent field is an example of the work supporting that maize programme. It's about producing a blend of normal maize, which is high yielding, with QPM or quality protein maize, which is high in protein.
Here we have germplasm from the various programs from IIT and CIMIT. We are just observing.
Tengen Kubal Banoa was a technical officer on the maize programme, and Scarda's support for his retraining and research meant he was able to develop his work on the project that's so important to the Institute.
It's not just bulk, but quality. So we want to improve on this so that the farmers can improve on their yields and at the same time get the quality protein maize in it. The story of quality protein maize in Ghana is such that we really need it because it helps our women to wean their children because, our poor farmers are not able to provide protein for their needs. But the quality protein maize will help them to be able to at least increase or improve on their health standards.
Idea to continue.
And just to complete the picture in Kumasi and to extend the Scarda story beyond the borders of Ghana, Tengen completed his course at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in the city, where each of these students from the Gambia have just completed their thesis on a 2-year MSc course, paid for by Scarda, as part of a bid to build capacity in research across the African continent.
My vision is to become a renowned breeder and share knowledge and increase productivity so that we can be food self-sufficiency in our country.
And this concept of supporting MSc students has been repeated in other countries. These students from Sudan, Rwanda and Burundi are pictured on their courses at Uganda's Makerere University, which has one of the strongest plant breeding programmes in the sub-region. In Kumasi, as with other workshops backed by Scarda, the events often involve people from the focal institutions working alongside people from other agricultural research organisations that form part of the national agricultural research systems.
My message is that Scarda has sensitized us about the need for change. We have put in place some structures, but I would say that we have only just started. We've sensitized the people. Some people have been sent out for training. Some of them have not even completed, so that we shall have the impact we want. That is to deliver quality research for the benefit of the poor in Africa.